There we go. We are live. Hey everybody.
Hey, what's
Sorry
up?
sorry for the long wait. We were setting up and stuff. Welcome to the show. We're back. It's been like a month, right?
Yeah, some issues occurred in real life for, I think Tony doesn't want to get into it, but some issues. And yeah, we couldn't do it on this channel for a bit, but hopefully things will get a little bit better. Hopefully. We'll see. We'll
Hopefully.
see. We'll see, guys. We'll see.
Holidays were very long and then I got sick, so that's my fault. So I
Well, it's
apologize.
not really your fault, but yeah, you got sick, so it happens, man.
That's what I get for hanging out with humans. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah. So, anywho, what was your this? I was watching this document, like this the mini series, Gypsy Rose Blanchard, getting out of
Mm,
jail, and I was sitting there. I was like, wow, this is crazy. A couple of her stories that she came about, also the fact that she came out and she's kind of now this suit like this kind of celebrity now that a lot of people are just watching her. I mean, what do you think of that?
Honestly, knowing her story and reading up on her and watching the documentaries and just knowing the case, I told you earlier, make that money. If your story's gonna sell, make that money. She was a prisoner with her mother since the day
Yeah.
she was born, and she was then she was an actual prisoner of the state, and now she's released. I don't think she has any ethic skills whatsoever. So make that fucking. There's no shame.
Well, I mean, like, it's interesting because I originally thought, and if you don't know, maybe give us a brief synopsis of Gypsy Rose
Um,
background.
I don't know the exact dates, but years ago, about
2015.
2015, yeah. Years ago, Gypsy Rose Blanchard and her mother were living together. It was just her and her mother. The family was kind of estranged. Her mother basically it was Munchausen by proxy. So her mother was making her sick in the worst ways. I'm talking about pretending that she had leukemia. She had her teeth removed. She's had her saliva glands removed. She had a feeding tube. She had chemo. Like it was horrible. It was horrible what this mother put her through. And the mother's name is Dee Dee Blanchard.
And she wasn't
Uh,
even sick. She didn't have
yeah,
cancer. She didn't have any, Gypsy did
she,
have none of those conditions.
yeah, she even said that her mother even said my daughter's allergic to sugar. And so anytime Gypsy would, sneak a drink or something, the mother would be dramatic and putting on a show to everybody and would stab her with an EpiPen. And that does damage on your bones and your teeth. She ended up losing her teeth. So Gypsy was basically, we can honestly say, abused. She was abused since the day she was born to the day that the death happened, that the murder happened. But this is also the first case of Munchausen by proxy where the actual victim has actually killed the perpetrator. So
Yeah.
this is a big thing.
Now, how she killed the perpetrator was that basically she convinced a man that she met on Facebook. Let me just get the name. Let me see. Where's the name? Always escapes me. But
It's
she got.
Adam, isn't it? Hey everybody, welcome. Hey Wing Zero. Hey Jackie.
Let me just get the right Nicholas or
Nicholas,
Nick,
thank you.
Nicholas
Yeah.
or Nick Goodijong.
Mhm.
Basically met him online. They went on with an online relationship on Facebook Messenger. It became sexual eventually. Their first time having sex was when Gypsy convinced the mother to go into like to take her to the movies, and they had sex in the movie theater in the movie bathroom.
Mhm.
Basically, that resulted in her kind of convincing him or ask him to help her kill her mom. Basically, how she puts it in the documentary, she makes him sound deranged. Makes it sound like he wanted to. One of the allegations was that he was asking her to have sex with if they had a kid, their daughter. It's a little bit different, but basically, this.
MPD. There's that whole thing. Nick is also he is diagnosed autistic. But I don't know if his they call it DID now, but y'all know like multiple personality disorder. There was also
Yes.
accusations of that, like he was a 500-year-old vampire.
Yeah, he
I don't
believed
know.
that.
Yeah, I don't know if it's actually that or if it's a thing from his autism, not
Yeah.
educated enough to say. But Nick definitely had some
Yeah,
mental
he
issues.
also had an IQ of 70, apparently. He was not that,
Yes.
So basically, he got convinced either way to help Gypsy. She got him the weapon, the murder weapon. She got him, I think didn't she also pay for the ticket?
I think she did pay for the ticket.
She paid for the ticket and basically was in communications with him to come over. When he did, he told her to go to the bathroom. He killed the mother, and basically, eventually, they went on the run.
Mhm.
Um,
There's a lot more details to it, but we're just doing a light thing.
Eventually, people were alerted that something occurred through a message, like basically Facebook message. The mother's dead.
It's
And
everywhere.
I raped Gypsy, and that was that was put in there, and people came, so the woman's head was almost chopped off, about and saw that she was missing. People looked for her, they found her eventually. It later came out, if you watch the interrogation, she initially stated that she was raped by him, and she first initially denied
There
it,
was
and
a
then she's
deal. There was a
yeah.
deal with that whole thing. Nick was like, "If I kill your mom, I'm also going to sexually assault her when she's dead." And Gypsy didn't want that, so Gypsy made a deal with him saying, "Well, don't sexually assault her, sexually assault me."
Yeah, but the thing, a grain of salt is, and this is going to be
Yeah,
a
well, yeah.
recurring theme. Unfortunately, with Gypsy Rose, due to her being raised by her mother, she had to lie a lot. And I have a feeling that a couple of the stories, if a lot, a couple of the stories are either fabricated or embellished. So
Yeah,
you
I would
have
say
to
more
realize
embellished, I would
more,
think.
and I would say that that's the cautionary tale whenever you listen to Gypsy Rose in the past. I don't know what she is to the future right now, but that was the situation that occurred. So eventually, she admits it. The guy, admits it.
Hey,
Um,
Grandma.
they eventually go to trial. She
Mhm.
gets what, 10 years in prison basically, and
Yeah.
she gets with the chance of parole. She gets out in 8. She got out in 8. He got life basically. He's in there. And basically, there's been many documentaries, many TV shows on it. And and now she's been released. I think she was released about a
A month
month and a
ago.
half ago, a month ago.
December
She,
28th, I think.
yeah. And a lot of people are talking, and she got released literally right when the full length documentary that came out. I believe the
Uh,
documentary was called, let me see, because I have it on.
Mommy Dearest, Mommy Deadest.
Yeah, let me see if that's it. Yeah, because there's
There's
a
a
few.
lot of them, but that's the HBO one, and then there's the whole Hulu show, which is loosely well, it is based on her, but there was a lot of misconceptions, and that was the act.
Let me see.
I love you too, Grandma. It's good to be
What's up,
back.
Siri? Let me see.
Grandma thinks I'm handsome.
Mm,
I'm
mm,
handsome. I'm
okay.
adorable.
Okay. Let me see. It's actually called Prison Confessions of Gypsy Rose Blanchard. That came out. So the first one just goes into her.
Hey, I'm Faith.
So basically, that's the general gist. So
Yeah.
we're gonna play like basically from Miss Mojo, and we're gonna probably play Stop for Shocking Moments, and then we'll get into what's happening now with her being released and all that crazy shit that's going on. And
It's really
yeah,
insane. I will like to point out, shameless plug for Lifetime. Lifetime does have a 6-part documentary, which is already out. You can get it on the app with Gypsy Rose from her. They talk about obviously the case and stuff, and they're filming her now as we talk. Um, it's basically her getting out of prison, adjusting, and all this other stuff. And I've only watched a couple episodes, and it's actually like she does speak up a lot, and she does own up her shit too,
all
which is
right.
refreshing. Here we go.
So
Oh, I
we're
see it
gonna.
now.
I see. We're gonna play this. So this is the shocking moments. It says the 10 most shocking reveals in this, and we'll just stop and discuss it. Obviously, fair
Yeah.
use. The channel is called Miss Mojo. So
share my story the way that it should be shared.
Welcome to Ms. Mojo. And today we're counting down our picks for the biggest bombshells Gypsy Rose Blanchard dropped in her Lifetime tell-all.
I've
That's a
made
cute little
mistakes in my
house.
life. I've made bad choices.
Number 10, meeting and marrying her now husband.
Now, this is a little thing. I know we're stopping. It's her husband,
Yeah, you're good.
Ryan Anderson.
Yeah.
A lot of people have pointed out that he looks just like her Dee Dee when they compare the pictures.
I think it's because he's thick. I don't think it's because of anything else. No?
Yeah, he looks eerily similar to her.
You think so? The nose.
Well, I mean, let me see. I mean, I know we're
gonna
stopping.
do a
We're playing like
comparison.
15 seconds.
Hey, Denise.
Like if you compare,
It's gonna shock me because I never saw that correlation before. Like I've never heard of it either.
here I'll do another share screen because we'll play this. But I wanted to share, just give you an idea.
Yeah.
Oh
Thank you, Grandma. By the way.
wait, wrong one.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
No, it's fine. I put the wrong one up there.
Look
Oh,
at what you did.
no, here.
There's a specific photo. Faithful says there's a specific photo.
Like, look at this. Look at this.
Okay, now that you did that, I'm going.
So, like, a lot of people are like, "Whoa, the husband looks kind of like Gypsy's Rose mom."
But like all jokes aside, and yes, it's weird, and yes, it's creepy, but everything that Gypsy has gone through with her mother, do you think that she doesn't know, and that maybe that gives her comfort? I don't know. I have no idea. He's a school teacher too.
Yeah. All right, so we'll go back to that other one. Let me see.
Okay.
But yeah, I saw that. I was like, "Whoa, bro."
Yeah, Grandma, that's creepy. I don't think I could ever go out with somebody who looks like one of my parents.
Yeah, that looks weird. But anyway,
I don't even go out with people who have the same name as my parents. Like, no, that's creepy.
Gypsy Rose claims that hundreds of men wrote to her during her incarceration, with Louisiana middle school teacher Ryan Anderson standing out.
The thing that stuck out the most about Ryan's letter is not only how genuine it came across, but also how funny he is.
They started corresponding in 2020, and their connection escalated rapidly, culminating in a clandestine prison proposal during their third meeting. They got married on July 21st, 2022, in the prison where Gypsy was serving time.
I was sitting across from her and I looked at her. I just knew. It's just one of those things And we had something special. We had that chemistry, and I asked for marrying.
No guests were in attendance, but the couple plans on having a larger celebration now that she's been released. The honeymoon period reportedly ended quickly, and there were considerations of an annulment shortly after. However, as of now, the couple may be on the path to a lasting relationship.
On my way to get some cupcakes for our Friday visit. I'm excited. Can't be too much. It's a prison, so it's got to be simple, but I am trying.
Would you ever do that?
What?
I would like to know from everybody, would you ever do that? Would you ever write to somebody in prison with the goal of having a relationship with them?
No.
I can't do that. Especially for murder.
Especially if that person murdered people, and then you're going to be like, "Here's my home address where I live. Here you go, sir."
Selling pot or something, then yeah, that's different. But this is murder.
Yeah, I don't think it's a very smart idea to be writing people in prison.
No.
Let me see.
That's a cry for help, don't you think?
Yeah. Let me see. Thank you, Grandma Sherry. There's a specific photo where they look very alike. Yeah, I played that. Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah, that was the photo. That
was weird. Can for Gypsy.
Number 9, Gypsy's best memory. Much of Gypsy Rose's story is a mix of shock and heartbreak. One particularly devastating bombshell is that she recalls her first day in prison as a, quote, good memory.
The best memory that I have in my entire life is the day that I got to prison.
Having lived under her mother's control.
Imagine that was your best memory, that you went to prison.
I mean, that basically tells you, real quick, Faithful says, I would write, but only out of curiosity to know more about their mind, but not a romantic pursuit. Same. I think I would too. Just
Well, I
just
was.
curiosity
I
sake,
mean,
but
like,
I'm not gonna shack up with you.
I like to like watch like basically like interviews with like killers and stuff like that. There was this one channel called Yellow Cabin Tales, and then basically they had this interesting video. It only has 700 views, which is fucking shocking to me. But it has like the Night Stalker Richard Ramirez, a conversation with death row inmate Bill Nagara, and he basically will try to kill the Night Stalker, and he actually had a chance to actually be around him, and I mean that's the thing I could probably understand if you write to a person just to get an idea of who the fuck this guy is. You know what I mean? Like,
or that John Wayne Gacy case with that guy who was talking to, didn't he? He had like a pen pal type deal with this guy, and the guy just ended up killing himself. And I was just like, well, he probably told you a lot of dark shit.
I would write, yeah, probably, and I just want to see that.
Higher life.
See what that is.
Gypsy saw her sentence as a taste of freedom. It offered an opportunity to form connections and take the steps towards self-discovery that she had been denied for such a long time.
And I got to go out to the picnic tables. And I'm like, I'm free. I'm free to have friends. I'm free to do what I want.
Yet it's important to note that she's also voiced remorse for her role in her mother's death. Once confessing to People, quote, "I'm not proud of what I did. I regret it every single day."
And to this day, I can't get that out of my head.
Number 8, Dee Dee's history. Today, it's recognized that Claudine Dee Dee Blanchard may have had a factitious disorder imposed on another, also known as Munchausen syndrome by proxy.
When Dee Dee was growing up, she had like a heart murmur, and my mom kept her from a lot of stuff. She wouldn't be able to go play outside. And then I'm thinking, well, maybe that's part of where Dee Dee had got that, because she was the sick kid.
According to her brother, Evans Petrie, Dee Dee, who he claims was favored by their mother, suffered from heart complications as a child and was restricted from engaging in the same activities as other children. Some family members even think she might have been involved in her mom's death, and that she tried to poison her stepmom.
My grandfather got married.
There you go, stepmom. There you go.
Yeah.
I thought it was mother-in-law, stepmom. Yeah.
Yeah, like that was the claim that she.
Hey, Jasmina.
Hi, Jasmina. That was the claim that she basically stated that they stated that she might have poisoned her mom. Her stepmom.
It started somewhere. So if her mom was doing the same thing to Dee, because I grew up with a heart murmur too. You can like kind of grow out of it, and it's not like obviously my case wasn't as severe as what it could be, but it seems like she grew out of it and stuff. Maybe the mom was just see where's the fine line to your mother being overprotective because you actually have a medical issue like a heart murmur, to where it gets to Gypsy Rose, where Gypsy's totally healthy, but the mother is going, no, you have leukemia.
Well, also it was a financial benefit for her as well. They got donations, They got a house, they got a lot of treatment.
They met a lot of famous people.
So, and also I think like basically Dee Dee was training Gypsy to lie, and that's why it's kind of like tough to like take a lot of what she says completely as truth.
But the thing is, did she know? That's the issue. You can train a child to lie without the child know that they're lying, because that's their mother. I
think Gypsy Rose was taught to be at a younger age, and I'm not saying she is now, but at that particular time in her life, to be manipulative and also to lie a lot. And I think she learned that from her mother, a bad behavior like that. And I think she might have used that same type of situation on on Nick, who had an IQ of 70, who was not that, and had some issues himself to, get the mom. I mean, that's the thing. Now, a lot of people, like for instance, one story a lot of people have doubts about is the whole, when she first tried to run away with the first boyfriend, right? She claimed that she was chained up to the bed and she had a neck collar around, like a dog leash around her, and she couldn't get up. And she was like, a lot of people, some people I've talked to, they were like, no, I don't believe that story is real. They think that story is fake.
But when they went into the house and they saw her bed, they did see like bindings.
Yeah, but we don't know about like what was the situation. We don't know like if that story is actually true. What she's stating. I don't know if they sound
I don't know if the
fighting.
dog collar is true, but I do feel like she was chained to her bed. I don't
Yeah,
think it was as dramatic as, but again, we will never know because, you know,
she's dead.
yeah.
That's pretty much it. Dee Dee's dead. No, we don't know about what story is real, what story is not real. But
To Laura May, Dee Dee was very upset about that happening. She felt like my grandmother was being replaced by this woman that she probably hated.
Dee Dee also seemingly misled Gypsy's father about her true age when they met, and later gave her daughter a false image of her dad.
You know, we were only dating 3 months when Dee Dee told me she was pregnant. I was 17 years old, and I think she told me she was 21. She was actually 23.
Number 7,
Okay, so
Gypsy
Dee Dee's
alleges
also a chomo.
yeah, pretty much.
further mistreatment from her grandfather. As per the docu
This was the most shocking part for me. When I heard this part, I was like, "Whoa!" I did not think
Yeah,
this
this
was.
is the first time I've heard this.
Now I talked to other people, and they said they heard about I think she wrote about saying that she was abused by her grandfather. When I saw the grandfather being confronted, I was 100% convinced that he did it. So I don't think she's lying about this part.
series, when Gypsy was around 9 years old, she stayed with her grandfather and his wife while her mother recovered in hospital from a car accident. Gypsy alleges that during this time, she was
That's the
sexually
grandfather.
assaulted.
I had a pretty close bond with my grandpa. Then one day, it just seemed to change.
However, her grandfather, Claude Petrie, countered her claims, stating that since she was around 4 years old, she had been initiating inappropriate behavior towards him, which he
What
had to
the
fend
fuck?
off.
That just like
That convinced me when he stated
Yeah.
that, and when he was confronted, he was like, "Oh, she was touching me inappropriately," and I was like, "Whoa, bro!"
You're the adult there. You do
Like,
get what I'm
well,
saying? You're the adult.
I'm saying that's a blatant lie by him. He
Yeah.
probably did it, and he's just like, "Well, she did it." You know what I mean? Like the stupid lies. So yeah, I do believe that in my opinion, looking at this guy during that documentary, the grandfather, that there was some sort of sexual abuse going on, and it could be an issue. Explain why Dee Dee what was wrong with her. When she was
I mean, yeah.
that abuse could have been done to her as well. We don't
most
know.
definitely. Most definitely.
So it could explain.
Wait, doesn't Gypsy say that it was done to her mom too?
I think I'm not sure.
I
I don't remember.
I think it's in this video. We'll find out.
confirms that like I want nothing to do with him.
Gypsy confessed that it took her about a decade to tell her mom what had happened. Shockingly, her mom revealed that she went through something similar with him when she was young too.
So you were right. You're right. So I mean, like this guy is that guy. I have a definite feeling he did that. Blame a child. Yeah, it's always blame
exactly,
a child.
Grandma. Who does that? Coward, fucking piece of shit.
I finally started to tell my mom a little bit, but she started to cry and blame herself. So I just clammed up, and nobody ever knew.
Number 6, how Dee Dee fabricated ailments. Dee Dee manipulated Gypsy Rose from a young age, fabricating illnesses and exploiting the aftermath of Hurricane Katrina for lack of medical records.
Dee Dee didn't have the medical records. She said they're gone because it was chaos down in New Orleans right after Katrina.
Falsely claiming serious conditions, Dee Dee's deception lacked evidence. Even doctors found no proof of the mentioned illnesses.
From a very young age, my mother had claimed that I had seizure disorders, hearing impairment. I was forced to use a wheelchair.
She also altered her daughter's appearance, attributing changes to medication. Driven by fear and a longing for her mother's love, Gypsy Rose stayed silent. Dee Dee's manipulative cycle, alternating between extreme affection and punishment.
Yeah, that's another thing. What did you think of that part, particularly, Tony?
I thought it was fucking awful. I don't know. I think every parent's dream for their child is to be healthy. When a baby's born and say you're the father, the first thing I would do is count the fingers and toes and be like, beautiful, healthy. That's what you want for your children, to thrive, to be healthy. But it's so weird to sit back and see how the mother wanted Gypsy not to thrive, because I feel like that's not in a true parent's nature.
That's very true.
Coerced compliance for love and rewards.
She would put her arm around me and hug my shoulder, or she would squeeze my hand. That was the signal to shut up.
Gypsy Rose's breaking point came when her mom insisted on an unnecessary larynx surgery, wielding her power of attorney to double down on her control over her daughter. Number 5, Nick Godejohn's alternate personality.
Another thing is, you didn't even know how old she was. Like at one point, like what did she like when she was like 22? She was
pretending that. Well, there's a lot of different stories that with witnesses. Like there was one incident, her father, mind you, her biological father has been and always was trying to contact Gypsy and stay. He was paying child support and everything. He called on her 18th birthday to wish her a happy 18th birthday. And Dee Dee goes, "Oh, Gypsy has a mind of a 7-year-old. Don't tell her how old she is. Da, da, da. It will upset her. She'll get confused." And her poor father was like, well, is getting fed all this shit about how disabled his daughter is. He did what was told to talk to his daughter. And you know what I mean? So everybody was fed different things. She didn't know how old she was until she started to rebel before the actual murder. She found her social security card, she found her birth certificate, and she was pretending to be 15 when she was really like 21, 22. And it's just weird. But she looked like it too. She looked like she could have been 15.
Yeah.
Gypsy Rose reportedly first met Nick Godejohn through a Christian dating app in 2012.
2 weeks after first communicating, did we make it official on Facebook that we're in a relationship? And again, I was in that mindset that, oh, this is my knight in shining armor.
At first, she thought she'd found her Prince Charming.
She basically saw a lot of princess movies, and she probably thought, a man is supposed to come in here and save me from my wicked witch of a mom. And she thought that this was, that was what she was thinking.
Very Rapunzel.
Who would come and whisk
Yeah, very Rapunzel of her.
her away from her imprisonment. However, Godejohn had a history of mental health struggles and reportedly believed he had multiple personalities, including Victor, a 500-year-old bloodthirsty vampire with a penchant for violence.
That is when he told me that his alternate personality's name is Victor. That he's a 500-year-old vampire.
Seemingly, it was Victor whom Gypsy Rose pleaded with to free her from her situation. Apparently, a former girlfriend had tried to raise the alarm bells regarding Godejohn's behaviors, but Gypsy Rose brushed her off as just a, quote, jaded ex.
Even though those red flags, I saw them, I ignored them because of this notion that I had found love at first sight.
Number 4, Gypsy Rose created an instruction video for Godejohn. In the documentary, Gypsy Rose reviewed.
What?
This is the video where everybody I think it just got released recently.
Yeah.
And in the video, this is where the media now is starting to flip the script, because when she got out, everybody was praising her, everybody was supporting her.
Yeah.
But right now, it's backfiring.
Yeah, well, that's how it goes, man. One moment you're praised by everyone, the next moment you're the fucking villain. I mean,
Exactly.
I've been in that situation. I think many people have been in that situation where you're praised by a lot of people and you're a celebrity and you're great, and then people fucking turn.
Exactly.
Because, it is what it is. Stay safe. All right, you too.
Yes, stay safe.
Rock a bit.
Your Rockabit's leaving. Stay safe.
This hurts my heart. Well, I'm sorry about that.
Reveals
As
that
he
she
plays
created
the
a video for.
Let's watch
What?
more. It was funny how you did it. You're like, that hurts my heart, and then you just start playing the video.
I didn't mean it like that. I'm sorry if that was how hard it was.
Let's have some more. I
I'm
mean, no, it
sorry.
hurts everybody's heart. I wish nobody goes through this, but since her case was so publicized, there was a lot of people becoming brave and coming out and going, my parent did the same thing. My parent is still doing this. You know what I mean? So her case is like helping people get courage to speak out.
Yeah, I mean, and the thing is, like, it's a very tough situation because this person is a victim.
Mhm.
They were abused, and it's just very unfortunate
It's
that she
mixed
went through that. So it's like she's also, and she hopefully she does better. She doesn't have to go. I mean, she paid for her time. She, she has to live with what she did, and hopefully she moves forward with her life. Personally,
But
I think.
no, go ahead.
I
No, you can go ahead.
I personally, though, also believe that the boyfriend should be kind of go into a mental institution or something instead of prison. To be honest with you.
Yeah, I agree with you. No, I definitely agree with you. And by law, she served her time. She has every right to try to make a life for herself. And again, I know a lot of people are like, well, she's selling her story. That's all she has. That's all she has is her story. Go make your money, Gypsy. Do what you got to do. You need to live. You need to eat. You need to get yourself long mental health and do your thing. Make your money.
For her then boyfriend.
I really thought that Nick loved me, and he was my way out.
Since it would be night by the time he arrived, the footage showcased the layout of their house and provided specific directions to her mother's room. She admitted that before the documentary, her lawyers were the only other individuals aware of the footage, apart from herself and Godejan, of course.
I made a video for Nick that's kind of like a walkthrough of what the house layout looked like, what my mother's bedroom looked like.
In the video, she's seen miming a violent action, which she attributes to a, quote, disconnection from reality fueled by her dependence on pain medication during that period.
Yeah, she claims that she had addiction to pain medication.
Yeah, she does. There was an issue that was in prison where she was still addicted to pain medication because her mother was spoon feeding her it, and she was on Suboxone and stuff like that she didn't need to be on. And in prison, she racked up like a $50 bill with one of the prisoners, and she had to call her stepmother, her father's, new wife. And the stepmother gave her the $50 and said, this is it. And Gypsy has been clean since. But again, mind you, she was forced to take that medication from her mother. And that's, for a little body like that, she's tiny. And taking a bunch of like Vicodins and Percocets on a daily, you're going to be addicted, It's not like they make it easy to get off those things.
Yeah, it's not, and I think I could believe that she was she was dependent on pain medication.
Oh, yeah.
But I also think I think she's limiting her involvement. I think personally she probably planned out the situation and directed him.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Well, I agree with you.
And I think she doesn't want to admit that or completely state it because it would make her look even worse in the eyes of the general public.
Yeah.
Apparently, even her lawyers were surprised by the unsettling nature of the incriminating footage.
We picked a random date, and it was pretty much the soonest possible that I could get enough money to buy the bus ticket for.
So she supplied, if you think about it logically, would you say you completely disregard the abuse and stuff like that? She got the weapon, she got the funds to bring the person to kill, to transport the person. She created a video and she directed the person how to do the act. Basically, she's the mastermind of the murder of her own mother.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
And in my opinion, it's
take away the Munchausen is what you're saying.
Yeah, if you take away the Munchausen, this person would go to jail for life, basically, for what she did.
Yeah.
And it's interesting that she got out and ate, and he's still going to sit in jail. Meanwhile, the truth of the matter is, that kid probably, that 17-year-old guy, Nick, would have probably never would never have done this crime if not directed. So I feel bad for him. I think he should get out as well. I think he should get some sort of treatment or something or get out. I don't think prison is proper for that gentleman.
No, he definitely needs to go to a mental facility for a very long time. And Vic, Yeah, they do talk about the voice more. Now that she's out, her voice has kind of matured a bit. But
Yeah.
I think her mother wanted her, like I think subconsciously she knew she had to play a part.
Also, like this, isn't it like sometimes people have like voices like that when they get abused or something like that as a kid?
They do slip back into what we call baby mode
Yeah.
or infant mode, and yeah, it's kind of like a mechanism. But when it comes to her, I think it was very much
Because she was like, I mean, like I believe she probably was sexually abused by her grandfather. She was abused by her mother. She was forced to be a certain, like to be younger. That I can definitely think about how think that that voice would regress to that particular thing, and it would just stay.
her voice. I know I haven't seen her Instagram, but I was going
We'll play
off
it.
of. We'll play. Obviously, yes. I was going off of when she was talking on The View, but it just seems that like on The View she matured, but I could be confusing her voice to what she was actually saying, because you got to understand this child does not have an education. She was very much locked away from the world, and when she was out in the world, she had to perform, and but she seems very articulate, very intelligent. She's very smart, and I don't know where she got that from, because she didn't go to school. Mother of two boys. I think she learned to be a master manipulator from her. Oh, exactly. I do too. And that's why she needs therapy, and she needs to be self-aware of what, she is pretty much self-aware, but she needs to stick to going to therapy, following her, parole officer, doing, all the steps.
Yeah.
I think she went to school for a while, but I think her mom took her out like in 6th grade or something. And it was supposed to be homeschooled, but I don't think her mom.
Yeah. I don't think she didn't get that much homeschool. Let's just say that much.
His transportation.
Number 3, dealing with substance use disorder. As we just mentioned, Gypsy Rose attributed some of her past behaviors to her substance use disorder, although she does not use it as an excuse for her actions.
I just knew that it was a craving that that's all I could think about. I wanted another one.
She admits that at that point, she felt this was her only coping mechanism, but it led her, quote, down a really dark path.
It led me down some bad choices that I regret.
She says she was first prescribed medication after her mother fabricated a symptom that resulted in the removal of her salivary glands. When the pain persisted, her desperation to find solace intensified. She confessed that as she entered prison and started serving time, no one was aware of her ongoing struggles. She says she has since recovered.
I'm clean, I'm sober, and I'm not that person anymore.
Number 2, a previous escape attempt. When Gypsy Rose was about 19, she tried to escape to the home of an online acquaintance.
And
Yeah, and I think I actually believe the pain medication story. I think that's probably happened. I can definitely believe that.
Can you imagine living the first good part of your life thinking that you were so deathly sick that you're literally on death's door? I think she was also a part of the Make-A-Wish program too. And just finding out one day, that you're perfectly healthy, and the tubes and the protein shakes and all the medication were never needed at all. That's gonna fuck with you.
Yeah. And she was homeschooled. And it was after the second grade.
Second grade, okay.
Yeah.
Took her out real soon.
Yeah, some say even as early as kindergarten.
That's horrible.
he sent me a text that said, could tonight be the night that we run away together?
Despite her efforts, her mother tracked her down and lured her back home.
I see her walk in the door, and I sit up, and the first thing I say to her is, I know I'm 19, and I can be here if I want to.
Once there, Gypsy Rose describes a distressing period where she found herself physically restrained to her bed with a leash and bells monitoring her movements. Dee Dee also allegedly broke any devices that connected her daughter to the outside world and subjected her to inconsistent care.
Once she got me inside the house, she chained me to the bed, She smashed my computer and my cell phone.
Gypsy Rose asserts her mother tried to, quote, hex her to hinder any future romantic relationships. She also claims that the fatal incident wasn't the only instance of her taking extreme measures to break free.
So I really started to weigh out the pros and the cons and realizing that I needed to get out of this situation now.
Before we continue, be sure to...
I also think another unbelievable part of the story, this is the part I don't believe, that she basically got a BB gun and shot at her mom.
I've never heard that before. Never. So this is the thing. The case is it's over 12 years old, isn't it? The case, you think you've heard everything, but you really haven't. So when I hear new things, I'm like, how did I not hear about that?
Yeah, she initially thought it was like a real gun, and then she just took out this BB gun and shot at her. And, I don't believe she did that. I think that's probably a lie. It was like a 2011, I believe.
If that really happened, though, I think she would have been abused. Like, if the abuse was that bad, if you shoot a BB gun at your mom, you're dead. Like,
I don't know if she would be killed, but I just think that was probably.
Well, you know what I mean, like in the sense of you getting in trouble with your parents, you're like, oh my god, I'm gonna die. You know what I mean?
For Sal, so my body,
Yeah.
Gypsy Rose reveals a disturbing incident from the night of the tragedy. She expressed love to her mom, receiving an eerie response.
I remember her telling me, "What's that for? I'm not dead yet." It was so ironic.
Conflicted about the plan, Gypsy followed Godejan's instructions to hide in the bathroom and try to block out any sounds when he arrived. Despite complying, she felt torn, especially after hearing her mother's cries for help.
And to this day, I can't get that out of my head. And I wanted to help her, but I don't.
Gypsy Rose now speaks openly about her experiences, aiming to bring attention to others in similar situations and prevent them from going down a similar path. Her goal is to discourage others from seeking help through harmful means and encourage alternative assistance.
I am not the same person that I was 6.5 years ago.
That's an interesting thing. I when I was watching it, it's very weird because the person that is committing the abuse is someone that actually cares about the person in a way. And it's kind of like, it's kind of sad in a way, because I think Dee Dee was a sick person. And I think, I don't know, I think probably maybe things would have been different if she would have gotten treatment. If there was a possibility of change. Should she have died? If you asked me this like originally before I looked into this documentary and I looked into all this stuff, I would say, yeah, this lady's evil. Let her, who gives a fuck? She's an evil person. She tortured her daughter. But I personally believe Dee Dee at this point was probably mentally sick, a person that needed mental health. That needed to be, but unfortunately no one noticed it. And she just continued her abuse. And and it's kind of a sad situation that her own daughter had to plan the murder of her mother so she can be free.
Yeah, it's like self-defense kind of thing.
Yeah, and her mother was sick in the head, and there was no one that noticed that she was sick in the head, and that she had to basically plan to murder her own mother so that she can basically be free. And that's just, and the weird thing is that I guarantee you that probably Dee Dee loved her daughter. And and it's kind of a tragic situation if you think about it. Just my thoughts on that. My mom would have booked my butt. Okay.
About the whole
BB gun? Yeah, probably. Yeah, I mean, but yeah, that's the tragic thing. Like you have that situation where her own mother she loved and did that, and it's very tragic. What's your thoughts?
There had to have been something going on. Like there has to be. Obviously, there's some truth in what Gypsy's saying, But for her to think my only way out is to kill my mother, there had to have been maybe there was more truth to the abuse, because you have to be really desperate to like, there's a lot of things, a lot of steps and a lot of things you can do before you go, okay, murder. You know what I mean? So I wonder if she was kind of, Dee Dee forced her to think, okay, this is the only way out. Like by her own actions, keeping her sick. Maybe there was abuse. Also background noise with her grandfather. Like, there's a lot going on. Like, sometimes I think, in cases like this where it's basically self-defense, you have to go through a lot in your head to get to, okay, the only way I can survive is to kill this person. So I think there's like a lot more in the middle that we don't know about, which I'm sure we're gonna find out about as time passes because she's doing the show. But yeah, there was love there. That was her mother. I just don't think Dee Dee knew how to love her child because she didn't have, the greatest mother either. But yeah, that's my thoughts on it.
But now that now she's released, a little bit about the documentary. Now there's, people were initially liking her. They were basically, there was a lot of people that really liked her and they wanted to watch her. And now there's some sort of kickback where people are just very, very tired of seeing this person around. What's your thoughts on that?
Sorry, I was reading what Jasmina was saying.
So you ignore me. I see how it is.
I'm so sorry. I am so sorry. Yeah, that's the thing too, because she did try to escape before. I'm talking to Jasmina. She did try to escape before, and the mother called the guy, got a hold of the guy, and said, my daughter's a minor. And even though she wasn't a minor at the time, she was 19. The guy obviously was like, oh, I don't want a minor child in my house. You know what I mean? So there was like a kidnapping thing that was going on. So maybe it was like things like that made Gypsy go, okay, I'm never going to escape this. That's what I think. But what did you say, B?
We could jump towards the TikTok a little bit. Like, do you want to play that?
Yeah, we can play that. That's the TikTok of the state, right?
Yeah, she had to leave the state. Yes.
Yeah.
Let me just one moment. What's also interesting, I watched Down the Rabbit Hole News, great channel to watch, by the way. And she basically, let me just before you share it. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
You can share screen.
Okay.
She basically had an attorney on, the attorney that represented Critical K, like the sued Critical K in the defamation lawsuit, sued her. And he basically highlighted that the Son of Sam laws do not apply to the state in which Gypsy Rose committed the crime and Gypsy Rose is moving. And basically that means that she can make money from telling her story about the crimes, being basically a celebrity. To sum it up, and I might be, if you want to watch in detail, a lawyer explaining it with more detail than I am, you can go to Down the Rabbit Hole News and watch that part. But my understanding is that basically it was a law passed after Son of Sam, and it was just too overbearing on how it was written. It got appealed, and basically New York kind of put their own version in, but other states did not enact their own version, the new version, allowing a loophole to basically like a time period that now Gypsy can make money from it.
Yeah.
So that was very interesting to find out. So, and I guess the reason why she didn't make the money from the that TV series was because basically it was like a story written by another author.
Yeah. You mean the Hulu show, The Act?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'll play this. You got a share screen?
Yeah, you're shared. Yeah.
You just want her out of the state of Missouri.
Hey, he's calling down Richard right now.
Let's just give him.
I just need a minute, okay?
I kept asking the question. I'm not understanding what the deal is.
Right.
But what if they're gonna send me back?
After Gypsy was released from prison, her family and friends gathered to throw her a welcome home party in her home state of Missouri, where she had been released from. But immediately after her release, her parole officer called her lawyers saying they wanted her to leave the state immediately due to security concerns with how high profile and popular her case is. Gypsy left Missouri with her husband and they are now in Louisiana. Many of her immediate plans for when she was released, like going to a Chiefs game, had to be canceled, and it's unclear if or when she will be allowed back into the state of Missouri. Gypsy has been very vocal online. She's visited New York for the first time and has been doing interviews talking about her past and plans.
Now that was interesting. Like they sent, that's the first time I ever heard someone actually being sent out of their own state.
Normally when you're on parole. Yeah, normally when you're on parole.
It's usually the opposite. It's like, don't leave the state.
Yeah, which makes it odd. I don't think she's not even, she doesn't even have an anklet or anything. So
yeah.
It's weird, but they said in the video because she's a high profile, and I'm kind of like, well, yeah, I get that, but you guys had 8 years to prepare for this.
Yeah. So there's also now like a lot of people who are getting tired of her publicity, like basically jumping around. That doesn't sound fair. It doesn't sound fair to me, but I mean, it is.
But her end goal, but the thing is too, she was going to stay in Missouri for a little bit and experience life there. But her family is in Louisiana. So I think her ultimate goal was to move to Louisiana after, parole and stuff. But now everything just got pushed up. And I can get being scared. Once you get out of prison, you don't want to go back in.
Yeah. And she was told to move because of security risk. I don't know why.
We don't know why, yeah.
To me, it's just a little odd, to be honest with you, but that's just me. The next one says here, this one you sent me before you wanted me to play. You ready?
Is that the YouTube one?
No, this is the other TikTok you wanted me to play.
Oh, okay, yeah.
This one, you got to share the screen.
Louisiana.
Yep.
She first got out of prison less than 2 weeks ago and gained over
3 would this be 3 weeks ago?
6 million Instagram followers overnight. Gypsy seemed to be on top of the world and was quickly becoming a mainstream celebrity. However, people on TikTok and Twitter are already getting fatigued by seeing her everywhere and are speculating the worst.
I'm not saying that she needs to go back to where she came from, but she definitely needs help, and I personally would just like to see less of her.
Many are
that's kind of cattish. Yeah, catty.
Yeah. That's the thing. People are. I'm the total opposite when it comes to that. She has nothing to her name besides her story. Are you an idiot? Because only idiots don't profit off their story. You know what I mean? Like, if I had a fucking story to tell, I would profit off of it. She has no working skills. She barely has social skills. She just went through one prison to another prison, and now people are like, oh, well, she's selling her story. Yes, let her. That's all she has. She doesn't know how to work at McDonald's. She doesn't know how to deal with big groups of people and pressure. She'll learn that in time, obviously. But for now, let her bank on her fucking story. Let's be realistic here.
Yeah.
She actually... Yeah, she got some education in prison and, social, like she learned a lot in prison, but it's still, she's never had the pressure of paying bills or even having a bill in her name or working. She doesn't, all that was ripped from her.
Well, the issue, I would say, I forgot my thought.
It's okay. You're good.
I mean, like, the thing is that she is, you can't really tell someone, oh, well, you can't really be, you can't be famous anymore. But I think, like, the real issue is, I mean, it's not really Gypsy Rose that is that issue. The issue is society kind of making a celebrity out of a true crime situation. I mean, look at Watts. Everyone was fucking looking at that game. Yeah. The Long case. All these cases, the perpetrator are kind of celebrities. Brian Koberger, celebrity. And it's just like a growing, I think, like when it comes
look
to
at Charles Manson.
Yeah.
Well,
or
he's dead now, but you know what I mean.
or the Night Stalker. I mean,
Exactly.
people have a fascination with people who commit taboo acts. And one of the great taboos is murder. And people want to know what they were thinking, what they were doing. They want to
Morbid
know how they're
curiosity.
living. Yeah, and how they're
Yeah.
living today. And I think that's the draw in with a lot of these true crime cases. And with her, it's like you have this situation where this girl lived a terrible situation in life. Has a lot of sympathy from a lot of people, and people want to know, who is Gypsy Rose? Who is the real Gypsy Rose? And it makes you, a lot of people watch you, but there will always be people that will just not like you for their various reasons, or there's going to be people saying that, hey, she's committed a murder, she killed her mother, she planned the murder of her mother, and she is basically profiting off of it. Is this a person who is sad about what they've done, or are they kind of celebrating, or kind of like gaining some sort of money from it? And those are the types of people that are probably criticizing her. Personally, I mean, I look at it as more of a situation where a woman had no voice when she was a child, and no voice when she was in prison. And now that she has a voice, and now she can actually go around and tell people her story and actually kind of be free, now you're seeing it. And and I think it's kind of weird that how fast the internet works is like literally 3 weeks. People are like saying, well, she shouldn't be on the internet, she needs to go back to jail.
I mean, it's weird that there's a lot of people out there that use the internet and don't understand, like TikTok and YouTube, even Twitter feed off algorithm. So she wouldn't even be in your feed if you just ignored it to begin with. So if you don't want to see her and you don't want to know this, and you're like, oh my God, we're seeing too much of her. Well, yeah, stop clicking the fucking links.
Yeah, she says she doesn't want to be considered a murderer. Let me see if I read your comment right. She said she doesn't identify as a murderer. Well, she can state that. That can be her opinion of herself. But she did conspire to murder her mom. It's just that's a fact.
She had a hand in it.
There was circumstances that the judge was sympathetic to her because she was abused. I believe was abused not only by her mother but also by her grandfather, and she was very trapped. But she did commit a crime. She did murder her mom.
Oh yeah, definitely. But she does admit she does commit a crime, and she does seem remorseful of it. I don't think it's fake. I think it's been over 10 years. You got to remember that too. She can't put up the waterworks for you to get all the time just to, to prove her point that she's remorseful. I think she is remorseful. I think now she knows she could have done a lot more than right to murder to get out of the situation. It's just at that moment in time, in her head, that's all she had.
Yeah.
They're saying that Gypsy immediately going on a worldwide press tour after spending 8 years in prison cannot be healthy, and they are tired of seeing her on every news station and social media outlet. In fact, people in the comments section were saying things like they feel the worst is yet to come, and there's going to be a part 2 to her story with her newly found husband. Meanwhile, others are saying that she's chasing fame and...
That's kind of fucked up.
She's
gonna murder...
New age. People want to see a downfall. They want to see you fail.
Yeah, I don't understand why people want to tear someone down. They live their entire life being imprisoned, and they get out for 3 weeks, and they go on press tours, and suddenly everyone's like, well, she's celebrating, and maybe she's celebrating not being in prison anymore.
Exactly. And Grandma Sherry's right. She was limited in her worldviews. I 100% believe that. And honestly, chase that fame, chase that money, do what you got to do. You got to make money. I'm sorry, you got to make money.
Well, I mean, like everyone else has somewhat profited from the story, like her thing. And I would say, like, if she's going to be compensated for people who want her point of view, I don't think there's an issue. And there's no Son of Sam situation there where she's not going to profit from, that there's a lot of this profit from making money from it. I don't think anyone's going to sue her.
No.
And I think like it it is what it is. If people really don't want her to profit from her situation and don't want her to have followers, then don't watch. But
Exactly.
it's just very that simple. But I think people will watch because we have a fascination with people that commit taboos, and we want to know all about them.
Mm-hmm.
Because most of us do not commit murder. Most of us do not do these crimes, and we really want to know what these people, how they live and how they act.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Money and doing all of this just for attention. Regardless, these criticisms seem like they're coming from haters who are jealous of her meteoric rise to fame, as she is finally getting the good karma that she deserves.
And I agree with that part. And also think like everyone that has ever grow and gets big on social media, you will always have a bunch of haters that will just fucking despise you for no fucking reason.
Mm-hmm.
You can have them for some legitimate reasons, but most for non-legitimate reasons. Mostly, or you have some people that just hate you because they get views. You get people that just will make hate videos on you because they can get views for hate videos on you. You get people that will make videos on you because they have like legitimate criticism they have an issue with you with. Those are more rare than hen's teeth, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
And then you have people that are kind of just they follow a trend, or
they want to be angry for the sake of being angry. And thanks to the internet, you can be angry and have people go, "Oh, I'm angry too," and then you have like a little witch hunt going on. Thank you, internet.
Thank you, internet.
Thank you, internet, because it's so easy on the internet for you to voice your opinion, to fabricate things, to be relevant or clout chase, but everybody's profiting from the story.
Yeah, I agree. Let me see where Instagram. You have Instagram?
I do not have Instagram. I think. Wait, well, I have the app, but I never made the account.
Yeah, I don't have Instagram. Let me see.
Maybe it's on YouTube.
Let's see, Gypsy Rose.
I do know her TikTok account was hacked like last week.
Okay,
and
let's
she get it verified.
Yeah.
What are we listening to? We're listening to we're trying to find her Instagram.
What are we listening to? I don't know. Where are we going? Don't share it yet? Okay. This was the interview. Okay, this is an interview from 2 weeks ago after Life After
Oh, the View one. Yes.
Yeah. If we get struck, we get struck. I don't think we'll get struck if we talk through it. I don't know.
Whoopi Goldberg's gonna strike my channel.
Well, yeah. Well, if she strikes his channel, I'm gonna fucking particularly grab the Dino fucking video when she was playing. Yeah, no. Remember when Whoopi Goldberg played a buddy cop with a dinosaur?
It sounds so familiar. I probably have.
Yeah, it was a movie. She played like a buddy cop to a dinosaur, and she was investigating corrupt drug dealing dinosaurs.
See, that's weird. All I can think of when I think of Whoopi Goldberg, all I can think is Motobe Brown from.
I'm gonna play that if I get struck out. So just
Blanchard made worldwide headlines when she was convicted of orchestrating her mother's murder in 2015, claiming that she did it to escape a lifetime of relentless
abuse. I started to feel like it was I've kept so private.
Let me see. I'm just jumping to our interview because we got that stuff. I'll just jump on. That's the thing I always get annoyed. It's like, okay, people, you got to do one at a time. Ask her the question.
Yeah, and she's a week out of prison, mind you, but she seems very confident. Obviously, she has a PR team behind her, and she has lawyers that are probably helping her answer the questions and stuff like that. Sometimes they get the questions beforehand, and they go over the questions and they work with the producers. So definitely, I think she's gotten some help, but I think she's being authentic.
You were in prison,
Wow.
which tells you a little bit about the mindset.
Yeah.
But Gypsy Rose, you suffered for years as a victim of Munchausen syndrome by proxy. Your mother, Dee Dee, tricked everyone, doctors, your family, the community, into believing.
I think it's torture. I know that there was a couple doctors who who were like, they knew what was going on and they wouldn't help Dee Dee. And I know Dee Dee doctor hopped, you know, a lot. Once the doctor started to go, she's not allergic to sugar, or she doesn't need this surgery, or why does she have a feeding tube? Dee Dee would go to another doctor and use the whole, well, her records were, you know, were destroyed in Katrina and the chaos of this natural disaster. You know what I mean? Like, like Dee Dee was actually really good at what she was doing. She probably would still be doing it today if this didn't happen.
Yeah. Also, she had her glands removed, her saliva glands removed, and that caused her teeth to eventually fall out.
Yes.
So that's
that,
why
and
she.
on top of the EpiPen.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's horrible.
And she was in nursing school when she was younger, yes.
Does not a doctor make, nor should she.
Wait a minute, she was in nursing school? I didn't know that Dee Dee was in nursing.
Yeah, Dee Dee was in nursing school.
I didn't know that.
Ever done the thing she did.
Yeah. And my understanding also is that you lived in Louisiana and then moved. And when doctors asked for your medical records, she said that they were lost in Hurricane Katrina.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. So, and I think you're very brave for being here.
Thank you
for telling your story. I think it will help a lot of people. The question, though, that I think a lot of people have, I don't have it, is this. Why didn't you try telling a family member or the police maybe that you weren't sick? Why resort to murder?
Well, you know, I did try to run away, and I talk about this in the documentary. I talk about the first time that I tried to run away from home. Within 4 hours, I got as far as it's outside of town. And within 4 hours, she brought me back to the home, chained me to the bed, left me there for 2 weeks, 2 weeks without a lot of food, water. I had to urinate on myself or in a bucket. As she, you know, held the chain. So, you know, I was in the mindset of, I'm so afraid of her. I'm so afraid that if I reach out for help another time, it would be worse for me.
4 hours. I don't remember if she said that in the documentary. It took them 4 hours to get her there. I thought it took a matter of like a day or so.
I thought it took a day or so too, but it could have taken 4 hours. Do you know what I mean?
No, I don't think it would have taken 4 hours. How it sounded like a day.
It's weird. Yeah, because I do know she met somebody online, and the guy took her in, and Dee Dee obviously tracked her down and was like, my daughter is a minor, even though she was 19 at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And the guy, obviously being a good guy, was like, oh, you are not the age you told me you were. Your mother's telling me you're like 15. You need to go home.
Yeah. That's a very interesting. I don't know if that was just basically a documentary, just made it seem like a day or so. A day, but 4 hours seems a little too quick.
Yeah,
I don't know.
yeah.
It is what it is. I'm kind of like in the opinion, like, I don't know. I personally, this is an opinion, don't crucify me for it. I don't really believe the chain to the bed and dog leash thing. I really don't. I think that story might be fabricated. I think that story might be fabricated by her.
Yes.
And this is not to victim shame someone. I just think you got to realize that this girl was raised by a very manipulative, like a person who lied a lot, a master manipulator, a master liar. And I think when you're raised in that environment and you're taught to lie, you start doing things. You also start taking in that bad behavior. And I think
example.
Yeah, and I think that story was created by her. And the reason why I say that is because initially she stated that Nick raped her when she was interrogated. And to me, it's like, no, I don't think Nick raped her. I don't believe Nick raped her at all. So I think, like, when you look at her, you have to realize she's a victim, but she's also someone that will, unfortunately, due to her being raised by her mother, will also lie as well. And you just kind of, it's tough with her because you don't know what is some stories are true and some stories are false, I think, in my mind. You know, but it is what it is. That's just an opinion of mine. You can, and this is not to belittle what she went through. It's just that's my thoughts on it. Does it change the situation of why, you know, like, does it change my opinion? Like, you know, she doesn't deserve, you know, that she went to 8 years in jail and, you know, does she need more time? No. She still went through, I do believe that she went through multiple abuses. I do believe that she went through sexual abuse from her grandfather. And I do believe that she did have abuse by her mother with the treatments, you know, so that's just my thoughts on that.
I'm looking at police photos. I'm sorry, because there was a police police thing that said that there was chains on her bedpost, and so. But again, documentaries like it's like that game Telephone. Some things could be miscued.
I don't like that answer, to be honest with you. You know what I mean? Like, in my opinion, she basically convinced him to commit murder for her. And I would probably say, like, if I was in her position, I would say I would try to figure out how to get that guy maybe like something to try to get the guy out of fucking jail or some sort of place. Because the truth of the matter is that this man committed this crime because you convinced him.
Yeah.
I mean,
no, go ahead.
You go, man. You go.
No, I'm looking at the but I just want to tell people, if you look up the crime photos, especially on Google, do not click the Reddit ones because it's the actual crime photos of Dee Dee deceased. So please don't do that, because I had to learn the hard way. But looking at the crime photos that they've had, their house was such a mess. Like, trash everywhere, bags everywhere. It's not like a clutter mess, like, oh, there's a lot of stuff in the house. It was like a mess. And I kind of think, well, if you're playing your daughter being so sick, why is there a portable toilet in the middle of your kitchen? Why is your house disgusting? Like, even the medicine cabinet where Dee Dee would hoard all the medicine to give to Gypsy, literally a closet filled with prescriptions, was a mess. Like, I don't understand the logic on why the house is such a... Yeah, even Dee Dee's bedroom, Gypsy's bedroom, just a pigsty. I just thought that was interesting because it's just weird. Because if your daughter's sick, you know what I mean? Like, wouldn't your house be clean?
Yeah.
What's she up?
Yeah. Let me just put this up there. Yeah, I mean, I think there's like a mixed feelings about, because this person might have been her torturer, her abuser, but she still was her mother. And I think that's natural that you're going to have that feeling about your parent. Hi, Zen, by the way. I forgot to say hello. But I think she is just like her mother, sad to say. But I wish her this. I mean, I hope.
This real quick. Look at your Discord. Look at your Discord. I'm sending you a video of like the house, like a TikTok.
Sure. Give me one moment.
Yeah.
Just give me a second.
I don't think Dee Dee believed in using a bank because she had so much money.
She had a safe.
Yeah.
She had a safe.
Mind you, her Gypsy's biological father was paying child support and was trying to be in Gypsy's life. It was Dee Dee. I know the popular misconception is that the father, kind of ditched Gypsy. No, it wasn't that way at all. He tried as much as he could, but he trusted Dee Dee and what she was saying.
Mm-hmm.
That must be a horrible position as a father.
I don't see chains anywhere in the bed.
No, I'm not seeing any chains either, but there's like an extra bedroom. Like,
yeah,
I can see
that's why I think like with Dee, you got to realize with Gypsy, she probably embellished the story. I think
that's what I'm thinking.
And that's what my personal opinion is. Just like I believe the BB gun story where she shot her mom with a BB gun, she was planning. I think that's BS. I don't think that's real. I think she's adding that to it. I think unfortunately she learned bad habits from her mom. That's just my opinion.
This medicine cabinet, I'm sending it to you again. I just want your reaction. Look at it and give me your reaction. That is their medicine closet, not cabinet, closet.
Yeah, that's a lot of medication. That's how Dee Dee got. That's how Gypsy got all her pills.
It's horrible. It's horrible.
I mean, she literally has a pharmacy.
It is a pharmacy. It is, and I'm looking at some of these medications. She was on nebulizer treatments. It was just, it's sad. I wish I could zoom in on that picture too.
Well, probably. Let me see. But yeah, I mean, hold
Can
on.
you show us the? Yeah, we're trying to. I took a screenshot of it and sent it to B.
I can play it if you want. I can just show it.
Yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, go ahead. Yeah, yeah.
Just give me a
We'll
second.
show like the video of the house and stuff. Yeah.
I don't think there's any graphic scenes that I'm gonna be. I mean,
They
some of
blur
our
it.
viewers are, or all of them are probably from the true crime sphere. So it's like,
Yeah.
I don't think it's gonna be an issue if you see. I think yeah, I'll just show you the pills. Here, you got to share a screen. Share a screen it.
Yes, get into it. Right. There we go. There's
Yeah,
the drug cabinet.
that's the drug cabinet.
No, we will never ever do that. What do you think we are, Zev? We'll
What
never
did she
do
say?
that.
What did she say?
No body, please. No, we will
No, I'm not
never,
going to show
ever
the
do
body.
that.
No.
No.
But yeah, this is the drug cabinet.
That is horrible.
That's a lot of pills.
Yes, Vic. It's basically a fucking pantry. And the thing is, too, medications do expire. So I'm kind of wondering if any of those were expired. Was this for show? Like, I don't understand.
I think
why
she was a
so
hoarder.
much.
I think she's like a hoarder. Did you see her
Well, you
house?
saw well, that's what I'm saying. Like, her house is so messy. But if you notice in the video, there's some parts of the house where it's like brand new blankets and clothes. Like, it's brand new.
Yeah, I
And
think
it's
she
still
was
in the
kind of,
packaging.
I think she was kind of a hoarder as well. Yeah, let me see. Give me a second. But yeah, that was the cabinet. I'm trying to look for her actual Instagram. Give me a second. Yeah, so I mean, like pretty much a lot. What's your predictions with Gypsy Rose? Do you think that she is going to, the people that dislike her are going to grow, or do you think there's going to be like
Oh, yeah.
Okay, well that's kind of a dumb question by me because they always grow.
They always, yeah. No, it's not dumb. It's. I think she's going to ride this train no matter where it goes. I think she has a plan. We just don't know it, and we're not entitled to know it either. This is her life now. She's free to do as she wants. But I do think there's going to be a lot of other people who are going to speak against her, debunk her. You know, these true crime people, they're going to sift through everything to try to make her to be the villain so they can have a show.
Well, I don't think it's really the true crime. Like, obviously, I do true crime. I don't really think like it's the true crime people that are really going to tear up. I think it's really just basically like a lot of social media, commentary.
Amateurs. Yeah.
I wouldn't call it amateurs. I would just say like there's big TikTok channels and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Because to them, they don't quite understand the fascination between people with like Gypsy Rose.
Yeah.
She's a fascinating case to to psychologists, to people who want to talk to her.
It's the first of its kind.
Yeah. And people also were kind of hoping that she, root for her to basically get that happy ending that she's been never got. This is a victim. And people are hoping for her. But there's always going to be people that are going to just be like, oh, she's milking her fame to make money. She's doing, you know what I mean? My only thing I'm apprehensive about is that I think her throwing away the boyfriend like that, the ex-boyfriend like that, to me leaves a sour taste in my mouth. She was the mastermind to the murder. He would never have committed the murder without her direction.
Oh, no, absolutely.
And he had an IQ of like 70. He had multiple personalities. He was heavily manipulated by Gypsy.
He was like a Jason Miss Kelly. Remember when we did the West Memphis? Yeah.
I mean, if I would imagine he's the knife and Gypsy's the hand that wields the knife.
That's a good way.
Yeah, he might have been the weapon that killed her mother, but she's the one that directed the weapon. And I think that him serving life in jail and her saying, "Well, I served my time; he should serve his," is BS in my opinion. I think should have gotten out. I think he should get out. Maybe not in 10 years, maybe like 5 more years or so or whatnot, and maybe eventually, or maybe go to a mental place. But for her to get out in 8 years, when she directed the murder and him still going to stay forever is to me an injustice, I feel like.
No, I agree too. Please don't quote me when I say this. I'm not too sure, but remember the Slender Man murder?
Yeah, with the little girls, right? That thought they were
Yeah.
sacrificing Slender Man.
Yeah, didn't one of the girls get released, or she's about to get released?
I don't know.
But I think that was more of an age play that comes in with that one. One of the other girls obviously is not going to be released. She was diagnosed as schizophrenic and probably most likely to reoffend. But people can get released and rehabilitated, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And he has a mental capacity. His IQ's around 70.
That is 90 is normal. 70 is really bad.
Yeah. No, Jasmina, I have no idea if there's a petition or anything, but he does need help. You're not going to get the proper
Can I just
mental health.
say something?
Yeah.
Petitions do nothing. Petitions do nothing. You might as well not waste your time with a petition. Signing a petition only shows the amount of support you might have behind something. But when it comes to like legal situations like that, you need lawyers. You need money. You need a team of lawyers that want to help this guy out. And sadly, I don't think there's going to be a team of lawyers that are going to help Nick out. Nick is basically he's not Gypsy Rose. He doesn't have the celebrity power. And unfortunately, Gypsy Rose painted him as some weirdo rapist, necrophiliac person in documentary.
Yeah.
And I think he's never getting out of jail. I think it's kind of sad that this young man is never going to get out of jail. I think that's very sad. That's just my opinion. I think he's a victim too, in a way of the system just kind of is like not a victim. I should take that back. Let me take that back. I would say he is a person that there's circumstance. There's what is it? There's the actual what's the word? Exonerating circumstances, or what is it? What's the exact word? I'm trying.
I think it's I think that's what you said. There's the circumstances.
It's not like he came there and murdered her without being directed. For that not to be taken into account, and for his sentence not to be lowered based on that, to me is kind of fucked up. But that's just my opinion. And he's not a victim. Sorry, wrong term. Sorry for that. But yeah. Anyway, I think that's pretty much it.
Yeah. Does his mom still live? Yeah, his parents are alive. His parents are very disgusted obviously disgusted that Gypsy got out and he's still in there. He's even feeling a bit, not vindicted. What's the word? He's feeling some type of way about Gypsy getting out and him not, and obviously Gypsy getting all this fame and he's just like, I'm stuck in prison forever. There's definitely something there. I wish when anybody asks about Nick with Gypsy, I wish Gypsy would just be like, no comment. I'm not going to talk about that. I'm not going to, if she has nothing else to say to help him, say nothing at all. That's my thing. And yes, thank you, Grandma. Yeah, thank you all for joining us today. I appreciate it.
All right, thanks for joining. We'll be back on schedule. The usual stuff. Thank you for watching. We'll probably talk about Natalia Grace.
Grace. Second season's out, and there's going to be a third.
That was a crazy one. I feel more bad for Natalia Grace than I really do for Gypsy Rose.
Did you catch the ending? The last episode of the second season?
That was crazy, man. That was crazy.
So we'll talk about that. Y'all go watch it. It's on HBO or Discovery ID. And the Natalia Grace, the little orphan.
Yeah, that was sad. Anyway, guys, you have a good one.
Yeah, y'all have a good one. Thank you for joining us and keep safe out there.
Bye.